So today, it's good to be here. I want to share what the favor of the Lord looks like through the experience of caring for a shrub. Now you're going to be quite surprised, because I was very surprised. In early July, I went through a trial, or an experience that you would call a trial. But, the Lord showed me something. He asked me to write down all the ways that He showed me favor during the time that I had a shrub involved in this trial. I wrote down 17 ways. Now, I have to go back a few years, and then I'll bring it back to the present. But there was a rock garden bed at the foot of the stairs near my suite at my co-op. It had a small tree that had been neglected for many years, plus a bunch of weedy plants. And I was given permission to go buy a new tree to replace this dying tree. So permission equals freedom, which is favor. Now, a neighbor went with me to choose one, but in consultation with the garden center, we were advised to choose a shrub instead. We came home with a hardy hydrangea with huge cone-shaped flowers called strawberries and cream. Now, human company or community, advice, wisdom, and choice equals favor. The shrub and new topsoil was paid for by the co-op. I was the caretaker of this shrub for many years, which was 8 or 9, and a neighbor looked after it when I went away. So provision for our needs and privilege to serve is favor. The shrub grew 7 feet high and 7 feet wide, about, and it was covered from top to bottom in huge cone-shaped flowers from like spring till fall. And everyone who saw it loved it. Now, health, growth, and beauty is favor. So one spring day in June, when the shrub was completely covered in flowers, ready to bloom, I overheard part of a conversation while I went out to dump the garbage. And I also had a bit of conversation with one of the people later. The garden bed and the shrub had to be removed because of the building code. It was unsafe in an emergency. It was too close to the bottom of the stairs. So warnings to help us deal with loss or pain is favor. So I felt the pang of grief immediately, but I gave the situation to the Lord. The shrub was so large that there was no way that I could move it myself, and I didn't think it would survive if I did move it. And the Lord reminded me that this shrub grows really well from cuttings. So I cut off some branches, put them in water, and hoped they would grow roots. Well, strategy and hope is favor. My brother drastically pruned the shrub in preparation for removal, and he left the top flowers on it so it looked like a flowering tree. He found 5 well-rooted babies, basically, with upward branches, and he dug them up for me, and I found 2 more. And so what he did for me, I didn't have to do that drastic job of preparing this shrub for what I thought was death. So, fruitfulness and help in time of need is favor. A few days after the shrub and the entire garden was removed, I heard that the shrub had been planted in the back of a neighbor's yard. My neighbor and his family loved this shrub and they wanted to preserve it. Now, adoption or new life and love is favor. So, conclusion. I would have missed seeing God's favor if I had allowed myself to be overcome by grief during the trial and didn't seek God's way, especially if I'd ignored his promptings to write down all these favors. So I've read to you like 17 things, and I know that there's a lot more that we could write in other experiences, but I'm going to read them again briefly. Permission or freedom, human company or community, advice, wisdom, and choice, provision, privilege to serve, health, growth, and beauty, warnings, strategy and hope, fruitfulness and help in time of need, adoption or new life, and love. Thank you.